Hello, welcome to episode number 52 on the third tutorial we are having on trigonometry. And I believe you've watched a couple of the episodes, but if this is your first time of seeing this video, I indulge you to go to YouTube, check the playlist trigonometry, and preview all the previous episode, the 50, more than 50 episodes, because we have some episode did like a year ago. This is just a continuation of that, about almost 70 episodes. Try them and come back as we deal with one aspect, which is the angle of elevation and what? Depression. Remember in the first episode, we did mention that there are some everyday applications of trigonometry. And in that regard, angle of elevation play a critical role when engineers or architects are constructing a building and that of what bridges. It helps them to be able to calculate the height of the building. If they can be able to draw a line from the top of the building to a particular point with a certain angle, it helps them to be able to determine the height. Remember, every building you see out there once was on a paper. So the calculations were all done on paper before it was projected. All right. Then it's also used in navigation, as in pilots make use of the angle of elevation. Since they are in the sky, they can be able to calculate how high they are above the ground just by looking at a particular landmark. Looking at the landmark, they can be able to depress their eye to see the landmark and calculate their distance they are away from the ground or from that landmark. And I also know those who are stout basketball players make use of angle of elevation in order to shoot a ball. They don't just throw the ball, they have a calculation to just know the trajectory of a ball when they are throwing it before it gets into the net. There are so many applications. So you can also check out and share that with us in the comment section. So what then is the angle of elevation? The angle of elevation is just the angle through which one raises the eye from a horizontal level in order to observe an object above it. So if you are here and your eye level is the horizontal level here, this is your eye. This is how you can watch directly to your eye level, to your height. Then if you raise your eye to watch an object above, which is going to be taller than you, looking at a bed or looking at a tall building or looking at an aeroplane flying over, you are going to raise your eye. That level, that angle, the degree that you raise your eye is what they are calling angle of what? Elevation. That can also well be seen if you watch the Superman movie, whereby his eye can project infrared ray or light. So when the light is on his eye level, when he raises up, you see that the light rays destroy things upward. When he raises the eye down, it destroys downward. So that eye level is the horizontal line. Then when you raise your eye, you are creating an angle of what? Elevation, to elevate your eye. All right. Then we also have what they call the opposite to be angle of depression. Angle of depression, it is just the angle through which one lowers. It will be one through which one lowers the eyes from the horizontal level in order to observe an object downward. So in this case, it could be a bird looking at you, or an aeroplane looking at what? A landmark on the ground, or you being on top of a building trying to observe something below the building or on the ground level of what? The building. That is angle of what? Depression. So you are here, your eye level the same, you lower your eye through an angle, bringing it down. That is what we call what? Depression. So the two ways we can say that angle on top of a horizontal line is elevation. Angle below a horizontal line is what? Angle of what? Depression. So above elevation, below depression. So we can, let's just say I have a point here with, I have the eye level, then I bring it down to form an angle. let's say this angle is depression, forming this. So if I stand here and I watch an object below, this is where we have. I can see that my height and that of the height, let's say, good. So my height is going to be on the same level ground with the object. So I am watching. So this is the object. We can see that this will form what we call a right angle triangle. So I am here forming an angle below my eye level, horizontal line. Or just like maybe I am standing and I want to look at the shoe of somebody. So the person's shoe will be on the same level ground with my shoe. So we are all on the same level ground. So I'm only looking at the person's shoe with an eye bringing down from the horizontal line. Right? So that is what? Angle of what? Depression. So this angle here is angle of depression. Now, but if you watch carefully, we can see that this line is parallel to this. My eye sight, or the eye level, the original eye level that I have before looking down, is going to be parallel to the ground. So if that is the case, we can see that from plane geometry, this angle is going to be equal to this angle because this line becomes a transversal line which produces an alternate angles. So the angle there will definitely be the same as this angle here by the plane geometry 1. If I have a transverse and a horizontal parallel lines, any line that connects the parallel line producing a Z angle, you can see producing a Z angle, this angle will be equal to this. Then if I am to say that angle formed on top of a horizontal line is called angle of what? Elevation. So I can also say that this angle is also called angle of what? Elevation. So in the actual sense, the answer that I'll get here, or the value of this angle, should be the same as the value of this angle. So in general, we can say that angle of elevation is the same as the angle of what? Depression. The value that you will get for elevation will be the same as depression. So let's see if this is the diagram we have and we decided to bring the bed is here on the same level ground with whoever is observing. We are only picking this from the eye level, ignoring the height of the observer, just from the eye level place. We can see that this will form a right angle triangle. So the SOHCAHTOA can be applied. Now, if the person is watching the bird, and if the bird is also trying to watch the person, it will be watching through the same line of sight. And the bird will have a horizontal eye level like this. So the bird will also watch through the same line of sight, but is walking below this line. So this angle here will be the same as this angle. So you can see that the bird will be forming angle of depression, the observer will be forming angle of elevation, but the value will be the same because this angle automatically is the same as this because this line is parallel to that line. I guess the concept is clear when it comes to angle of elevation. Drawing this is the definition, but bringing it closer to become a right angle triangle is where we are going to apply the trigonometric word properties to it. So this can also be done. If I project this line down, I can also have this line in here to be the same value as the angle there because the horizontal level will be parallel to this. So this angle will be equal to that. So that simply means that I can ignore joining this side, making it a right angle triangle, and just focus on this diagram. This is a rectangle. If I claim here, the triangle is going to be like this. So I can just stick to drawing of one particular type of triangles, which is going to be this one, the elevation. So if I have the depression, I only indicate that angle to be equal to this. The height here will be the same as the height here, forming a rectangle. The length will be the same as this. Then the idea is what? Clear. Alright. Now, one thing we need to know under this topic is that every question given to you, you need to make a sketch of the scenario given to you. Just like a person observing a bed, you need to make a straight line, draw and carve out a right angle triangle from that information given to you. That's the first thing. Make a sketch of your diagram. Then the second one is to apply all the principles that you've learned under trigonometry to it in order to find missing angle, find the height or the length that we can have. I guess the concept is clear. All right, the video is getting longer, about 10 minutes. So we will end this episode here. And in the next episode, we'll pick questions that we can use the applications we have here to solve. Ask questions in the comment section. Share this video with somebody to also benefit from these tutorials. And make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed.